And so we come to actually the last of the 12 cups. We come to the last of the 4 matriarchs. And that matriarch is Leah. And Leah for me is such an interesting character in the Bible, and such an interesting person in terms of the 4 matriarchs. And she's celebrated, and this cup is often talked of as being Leah's cup of praise. Now actually that's a theme that we've seen run through, and of course we saw that the 4th of the wedding cups was also praise, and the 4th of the Passover cups was also praise too. But Leah's praise is on the birth of her son Judah, who she called praise. What did that mean? I recently read something which just really spoke to me. And it was an interpretation, because Leah, of course, she struggled to know that she would love. She was the second choice, wasn't she? And so there was this struggle going on. And she knew that really Rachel was the first choice. And the interpretation that was given was this, because Leah had already had other sons. But there was something happened on the birth of Judah that she chose to stop and to give thanks for what she had, and to stop pursuing what she couldn't have. To stop pursuing and wanting to be the first choice and to be loved. Instead of that, somehow with Judah, she was able to stop and to embrace what she had. And she called him Judah, and she gave thanks. I think that's a beautiful interpretation of that story, and I think it's something that's very relevant for all of us in every season of our lives, to learn to give thanks for what we have, rather than keep on pursuing what we haven't got, or perhaps pursuing something that we will never have, but to actually stop and to look around and to give thanks. And so Leah called him Judah, praise. And of course that gave us the tribe of Judah. She stopped and she gave thanks for what she had. All this is in the cup. And Leah gives us a way of life, a life of thankfulness. And the truth is that thankfulness prepares the way. A thankful heart prepares the way to learn to give thanks for what we have. And we're back, as it were, to the cup half full or half empty. And as I said, we don't need an optimistic or a pessimistic view of life, because we have Jesus. We have a cup. What's interesting, of course, is I've got nearly a bottle of wine in this cup, and it's not even close to looking full. But if I poured it in any of these, they would be overflowing. Sometimes it's just the way we view things, isn't it? And so as we come to the end of the 12 cups, as I move forward to just tying many of these elements together, let's just pause and give thanks for what we have. I've often said that if I'm going through a tough time, one of the best things that I can possibly do is to spend time with somebody whose circumstances are more difficult than mine. If I'm having a poor me moment, a pity party moment, the best thing I can possibly do is to spend some time, or to think about, or to pray for somebody whose circumstances are worse than mine, more difficult than mine. And Leah there, she teaches us to learn to give thanks for what we have. Instead of constantly pursuing what we cannot have or what is out of reach, to actually stop. And in her stopping, she gave us the great tribe of Judah. And there is something so beautiful and powerful about that. And of course, as we look today at our modern day worship and that which we enjoy so much, its roots go back to there. Its roots go back to Leah naming him Judah and giving thanks for what she had. And so with this last cup, let's just give thanks. Let's give thanks for what we have. Let's give thanks for our life, for our health, for our friends, for our family. Let's give thanks for the provision. Let's give thanks for what God has done, not, as it were, what God has not done. Let's give thanks. Leah gives us a way of life, of living with a thankful heart. Give thanks to the Lord is a way of life. And it's a way of life that will change us. change us for the rest of our lives. All of this is in here. What have we seen? We've seen the 4 cups of the Passover. Those 4 beautiful cups that he will bring us out from under the burden. He'll break the bondages. He'll deliver us. He'll redeem us. He'll take us as his own. We've seen the cup of servanthood, of friendship, of sonship, and of marriage. We've seen the cup of Sarah, the cup of Rebecca, the cup of Rachel, the cup of Leah. We've seen the cup that breaks infertility, that mothers nations, the cup that considers him faithful who had promised, the cup that learnt to give thanks. These are 12 cups. How big is your cup? All this is in here. Those disciples had probably picked up every one of those cups, and when Jesus held the cup, they had a big cup. This cup is the new covenant in my blood. All of this is in here. All of this is in here.